The company was founded by Portuguese-born businessman Zach Callisto, who moved to Africa at the tender age of 2, first in Mozambique and then South Africa. Zach's initial plan was to start the business with his former employer and now rival Netstar. But as is common in business, plans change. With just 100 Rand, he decided to go at it alone.
We initially evaluated going to Brazil in around 2000. And
Who's we?
It was actually myself with Netstar. We evaluated going to Brazil, and we realized that the technology wasn't the right technology for Brazil. And then we developed this technology in 2001. We had a 3-year negotiation with Netstar at that point in time to do a joint venture. It didn't quite work out as we both envisaged. So in 2004, we went on our own.
What was your background to get into this specific kind of business?
I started in '94. There was a gentleman from Stellenbosch. He brought the technology from Canada to South Africa. He then launched Netstar. I started with Netstar. I was doing the distribution for them. In '99, I helped Netstar go across the border into the African countries. So I had been in the industry since 1994.
How much did this all start with?
I think about 100 Rand.
100 Rand? No,
Yes.
you're kidding me.
No, seriously. In the early days, the technology has changed a lot. We had a very good agreement with Vodacom. And in those days, both Vodacom and MTN, they would give you cash incentive bonuses for taking out a 24-month contract. And that money helped us fund the business. So I had 100 Rand in my pocket.
So it's 2004 and you finally get going. So talk to us about that.
It was very, very difficult. So it was a very anti-competitive environment. We were blocked by the 4 big guys at that point in time. They made it nearly impossible for us. You had to belong to Visa, VESA, to be able to be accredited, to even be able to sell these technologies. And at that point in time, you had to have 3,000 subscribers. You had to already have done 100 recoveries. Now, you can't have 3,000 subscribers and have done 100 recoveries when you can't start doing the business. So it took us quite a long time to get Visa to accept that we'd give them a financial guarantee that should we not get to 3,000 subscribers or should we fail, we'll refund all the subscribers the money they've invested with us. So we put up financial guarantees to Visa.
How much?
I can't remember the exact amount.
But it wasn't 100 Rand.
It wasn't 100 Rand, but by that time we had already started selling, so we had already accumulated cash on our balance sheet.
So 2004, you officially launched into the South African market and over Brazil. Shortly after that, you venture into Mozambique. Why?
Look, there was a lot of vehicle theft in South Africa where the vehicles would go into Mozambique, but there's also a lot of vehicles being stolen in Mozambique coming to South Africa. It's not one-way traffic, it's actually two-way traffic. And for us to support the South African customers, you've really got to have a good presence in the neighboring countries.
I mean, talk to us about the innovations then that did come as a result of starting off in, recovering stolen vehicles into venturing into all these other areas that are money spinners for your business.
Technology is like a garden. You never stop working on it. So we've evolved a lot since 2007. Today our technology is not only about recovering a vehicle or doing analytics on the data of the vehicles, even doing analytics on the driver, helping the businesses to actually deliver good service to their customers. So we do quite a lot far beyond just analyzing vehicle data at this point in time.
And then eventually, as your business is growing, you look at the prospects of, being a publicly traded company and coming onto the JSE. What was the motivation behind that?
Well, the big factor there is we ventured out into Asia, into Singapore in 2014. And at that point in time, it became very apparent to us that if you're just a South African company coming from South Africa, you had very little credibility. And we at that point in time, we tendered for doing the prison services, the prisoners that don't stay in prison that go out. Singapore is very tight in security, so they looked at the South African company. They were, they wanted to really evaluate us, and eventually we actually had to list to get perceived credibility. We believe Asia's got perhaps the biggest potential in the world for not only our business, for most businesses. And I think Singapore is, it's really easy to do business.
What would you describe as the biggest challenge that you have faced to date in growing this business?
Well, I think there isn't such a thing as the biggest challenge. I think you've got challenges every day, and I don't think they're going to go away. They just change. And the challenges of today will disappear and there'll be new challenges tomorrow.
For some, many might say that the economy right now is one of the biggest challenges that they are facing.
The South African economy is clearly an issue. Hopefully it will be resolved, but we've got GDP going backwards. We've got the rand now also,
going the wrong way.
Going the wrong way. We've got quite a lot of challenges in South Africa. We've got a beautiful country. We've got lots of good people. Our education, the quality of the education of the institutions is dropping. So there are challenges, but I believe our economy now is much better than it was in 1994. But definitely, I think in the last 2 to 3 years, we've been going backwards. And I think in the last few months, we're going backwards faster. But hopefully we'll get over that. Taking
us back to 1994, I couldn't help but notice the portrait of yourself and the former President Nelson Mandela on the wall in your reception as we come in, and I believe that you're with your son there as well. Where was that?
That was actually in this office.
Okay.
Not in this office, but in the building.
What was Nelson Mandela doing in this building?
He came to visit us.
What is your view of the leadership of Nelson Mandela? I mean, many people have said different things.
I think he was a very, very special man. He was only in power for 5 years. He knew what South Africa needed. And I think he was outstanding for us.
Zach, I mean, we're talking right now about the fourth industrial revolution and electric cars and all this innovation. What does that mean for your business?
We are part of that evolution, actually. We are part of that evolution. So we're very privileged to be playing a very important part in smart transportation, in improving the quality of the lives of our customers, our both consumers and both commercial customers.
You, in your annual report, you and some of your execs agreed to bonuses, and I ask this within the context of executive pay being quite a contentious issue in South Africa.
I think we didn't do well. We didn't meet our internal budgets. The markets liked our results, but we didn't meet our internal budgets. And if we don't meet our internal budgets, we can't pat ourselves in the back.
Many people are worried about this trade war, trade tensions between the US and China. I believe you've also got some exposure to the US. What does that US-China relationship mean for you? Or does it keep you up at night?
You just got to get going. There are people, there are vehicles, there's a lot to manage. There's an underpenetrated market. So it might slow us down, it might not, it might actually speed us up because of these issues. It's all things that we'll navigate day by day.
Where to, or what next for Cartrack in this evolution?
Well, we continue to penetrate the market, we continue to grow, we continue to add more services. We got very dynamic, we got a lot of people with lots of innovation in this building. We got a great R&D center in Singapore, and we'll just continue plowing away, increasing our customer base.
As an entrepreneur watching this, listening to your story, what are the things that are important, do you believe, in making it in business?
The most important thing is human capital. If you haven't your people and your culture. So it's not only the people, it's also the culture. Because you can have the right people in the wrong culture and it won't work. Or you can have the wrong people in the right culture, it won't work either. So you've got to have a non-politicized environment. You've got to have an open planned environment where there's no offices. You've got to have very few meeting rooms. You've got to have quick decision-making processes. You've got to have very tight governance. And that's key to being successful.